Stuttgart, Germany, 1997. U.S. Army base Theodore Roosevelt. Private Jonathan Overton of the 317th Supply Battalion was a new recruit. At the age of 18, little Johnny joined the military, hoping tough Army discipline would give him the spine he seemed to lack. But military training was a lot tougher than he thought. So tough, it drove Johnny to try to take his own life. In the Army, those not meeting the top physical and mental standards are dealt with harshly, with the aim of building muscle and character. That job is up to tough disciplinarians who make it their mission to turn even the weakest of boys into combat-ready soldiers.
You know, everybody gets a lot of guff when you're at the bottom of the ladder. Everybody expects that, but he just had it in for me from day one, to be honest.
In Johnny's battalion, the toughest taskmaster was the notorious Sergeant Glenn Harris.
You're the worst soldier in this army. We could never go to war with somebody like you. You couldn't defend an anthill.
You know, I didn't enjoy being picked on, so, you know, I was doing my damnedest to, avoid, setting them off.
Not so fast, Overton. Overton, give me that mop. I've got something better for you. Get in there.
From the beginning, Sergeant Harris made life tough for Johnny, thinking nothing of making him clean the filthy latrines with a toothbrush. Having humiliated the recruit, Sergeant Harris next aimed to break Johnny's body and his spirit. Meet Big Bertha, a 100-pound floor polisher that was Sergeant Harris's special surprise for the Wimps. It took all of Johnny's strength just to hang on to it.
It was whoom, 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 Arms feel like they're going to rip out of their sockets.
After buffing the same section of hallway for over 6 hours, Private Overton was more exhausted than he'd ever been in his life. He could scarcely hear at all because of Big Bertha's relentless roar. Johnny was at the breaking point, and Sergeant Harris was about to push him one step further.
Overton! I think you missed a bit.
He just dumped dirty water over the whole thing, just told me to clean it all up again, and that was it. Something snapped inside me, I guess. I don't know. The only way out, I thought, was to kill myself. I was up on the 5th floor of that building, and I thought what I'd do is I'll take that floor polisher, which is the last thing I've been working with, and I'd chuck it out of the window with the cord tied around my neck. I hoped it would either choke me or rip my head off or something.
Making Private Overton's life miserable was all in a day's work for Sergeant Harris. As he prepared to leave for the day, he was unaware of Johnny's fragile mental state.
I just sort of heaved it up on the windowsill there, and I pushed it out the window.
The 100-pound polisher dropped like a boulder from the 5th floor window, the cord quickly unwinding behind it. As the buffer fell, it gained speed, enough to instantly snap a human neck once the cord went tight. If the cord went tight. Private Overton was still alive. The sergeant's truck was underneath that same window, thereby shortening the distance the polisher had to fall by 5 feet. It was just enough to spare Johnny's life. Not only did he survive, but Johnny accidentally got some revenge at the same time. Sergeant Harris, now crippled for life. After a court-martial, Overton was sentenced to 3 months for assault on a superior officer and reckless personal endangerment. True story or false? We'll let you know at the end of the show. First, was it tortured soul Jonathan Overton who botched his suicide bid and wrecked more than a truck in the process? The story is false. This is a classic urban legend, told with slight variations throughout the years, and always cited to a different Army base. Among the list, Fort Benning, Fort Leonard Wood, Fort Jackson, Fort Knox, and Fort Gordon. But it couldn't have happened at all of them, and in fact, it didn't happen at any of them.